What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Two Sisters, One Book. I'm Carla.
And I'm Amanda. We are two sisters, two moms tackling one book at a time. Okay, so before we start this episode, I thought it would be really fun to try this thing that I saw somebody else do.
And by the way, I have no idea what she's about to do. So I just know to expect something. Like, oh dear.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath in and exhale it all the way. And once it's like all the way out, you're going to try to scream. Okay?
Scream?
Yeah.
With a whole house full of people? Okay.
Yeah.
How loud? How loud do I have to scream?
Just do what you think you could do. Okay, just do it. All right. You're going to exhale. And at the end of the exhale, before you take a breath in, you're going to try to scream.
Okay. All right. Oh dear. Okay, here we go. Okay. What was that?
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. That's how bored I am. I think it's
That is how that it felt so awkward doing that. Like, I don't know if I've ever tried to calm myself down before screaming.
You don't ever want to hear you. If you don't ever want people to hear you scream, that's what you do. So you'd go.
This, what is happening? Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. Now it's everyone else's turn. Pause the video. Let us know what you guys think.
Record yourself. Tag us on Instagram or TikTok. We did it for you. Now it's your turn to do it for us.
That sounds weird. Don't even know what to say to that.
But I've been trying it this whole time, and each time it's something funnier and funnier. Nolan's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, don't worry about it.
Well, that was fun. I liked it. But what do you think? Should we get into this book? I feel like we learned so much. I don't know about you, but I feel like we learned a lot.
Yeah, no, we did definitely learn a lot. And now I feel like I have more suspicions than anything. So my suspicion has something to do with Hunter.
Oh, interesting. I do have a theory, and I'll talk about it when we get there. But I do have a fun theory that we can talk about it a little later. It'll be fun. Okay. Don't worry. It won't be as fun as your breathe in, breathe out scream, but it will be fun.
That'd be great.
Oh, man. Okay. So, basically, we start these chapters off where Sienna sort of wakes up to all of her, I don't know, you call them like her helpers, and they told her they have something special for her. And so, of course, when she opens the door, what does she see? A ton of roses. Now, I don't know Hunter's character very well yet, but I definitely got the impression that this is not something that Sienna would like, just because she doesn't strike me as the type of person that likes roses and chocolates. Like, the girl worked down at the Borderlands for 3 years, you know? I did start to understand it a little bit more when I found out that it's more of a show thing. I don't know. What did you think about that whole scene?
Yeah, because even at the dance party, he was saying we have to give him the best romantic show. Like, everybody loves a love story. So what greater gossip than Sienna receiving how many roses? I feel like it was a lot. So I just thought it was sweet. And then she was all giggling, the maid. I was like, that is so sweet. This poor girl, she just wants to get married, it seems like. But she was giggling and laughing because what did Hunter say? These roses are thorns compared to your beauty. And I was like, that's kind of cheesy, but not to this maid. She's in love, loving it. I'm like, wow, he really is a people person, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, there
knows how to play.
There were so many. Yeah, there were so many that she was saying that the maids had to walk around. I pictured it as this little pathway carved out with a bunch of flowers and stuff. And now, don't get me wrong, I love some nice flowers and that kind of thing. But I was like, I just didn't picture Sienna as the type of person that would find that as exciting. Like get like all like, oh, I didn't picture that.
Yeah. I liked her chuckle, how she was like, she scuffed and then she tried to cover it up as a cough and everything. And then she's all like, the maid is so into the note that she just rolled her eyes and everything. I was like, oh, I wish I was there to see that because I would have been laughing like hysterically. But yeah, she does not seem like a flower type person. But it makes me wonder, did he take all those flowers from the garden? Like, where did he get all those roses?
Who knows? And I think that's also probably part of where Sienna gets frustrated in this kingdom is we see it a little bit later when she talks about all the food that they can have. And you have people down at the borderlands and they're not able to even eat or get a good rest, a night of rest because they probably are sleeping on the ground and she's over here in bed sheets. It's like, again, it goes back to show she's probably like, this is just too much. Like, so my guess is who knows where he got it from, They have no
Like,
idea.
where did you get all those roses, bro? And how did you get the
Yeah.
money for that? But then I forget his dad is filthy rich. So whatever.
Yep.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
But then we see, right? Then we see Sienna basically going down and her father has pretty much summoned her. And so they go all the way down. They go to, right, the dungeons. And yeah, that was a little bit freaky. Now, she does mention like, that pretty much right when her father opened the door, the foxhounds started going crazy and howling. And it got me thinking, why foxhounds? Right? Because foxhounds are like from what I understand, foxhounds actually hunt foxes. So if you think about it, it's kind of an interesting pet for the fox king to have something like foxhounds, right? Because it's almost like, what are they going to chase your people? Like, are you building them against your people? I just thought that was like a very interesting choice to have as a pet.
He's just a creepy guy. I mean, look at how many times he's threatened Sienna and he knows what's going on. He seems like he's not stupid. He likes to play games. Like a certain character that I already compared him to, like our Ramsay guy from Game of Thrones. So he's very scary. And I feel like they might not be foxhounds like we think they are. I think they're like, man, probably are foxhounds like we think they are. But to me, I took them as like they're foxes mixed with a hound. So they're a bigger breed of a fox who are more deadlier and scarier because they're like, oh, well, look how big these wolves are compared to our cute little tiny foxes. Because, foxes are cute and not scary.
Yeah.
But
I didn't think about it like that. That's actually smart.
yeah.
I was taking it in like the literal sense where I was like, oh, a foxhound. Like those are dogs that are meant to hunt foxes by the scent. I just thought it was an interesting pet to have.
But I feel like your
I didn't think about it.
is like where I'm going with it though too. Because I hate our king. I'm not his fan, and I don't think I'd ever like him. So I like your version of him having these real foxhounds like hunting down and probably training them to hunt down his people. Because it honestly seems like he doesn't care about his people. What did he say when they were down there? I would do anything to protect my kingdom or something. And it's like, would you though? Like, you're not, I don't know. I took that whole probably out of context, anyways.
Well, you can do, we see it all the time where you're doing everything you can to protect your kingdom or protect whatever you're trying to protect. But what you do is in turn, you end up harming what you're trying to protect. So it could be one of those type of situations. But it also got me thinking, of course, because I'm going down like this rabbit hole of like research on foxhounds, right? So of course I started looking it up and I'm like, what is the association between a foxhound and a wolf? Because we know that the dead queen and her side, they're more wolf based. So what does this have to do with each other? So when I looked it up, there's really not a lot of a connection, but the connection that I did find was that the foxhound and the wolf are kind of like cousins, like distant cousins. They're not really one and the same, but they are some type of a family, like a distant family type cousin. So I don't know.
That brings us back then to the grandmother. Maybe the grandmother and the mother are related to the wolf people. Hence, I don't know. See, now I'm going down a deeper hole. But yeah, hence why the dad, I don't know. The dad just seems like he's off somehow. And I feel like it has to do with something with the grandmother's side too, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And the more that we dive into getting to know the king, the less chances I think of Hunter's father controlling him. in the sense of putting a spell on him. I could see his dad like controlling him in a term of blackmail, but I just feel like we're seeing so much of Sienna's father, this king, that is, to me, he's more of a ruthless, evil king than we probably were trying to give him a little credit earlier that maybe he was controlled. I think a lot of this comes down to his own actions, personally.
Yeah, no, he's evil. I don't like him.
Yeah. But we see that they head down into the dungeons, and this is exactly what I said would happen. Remember last episode, I was like, they're going to see this guy, this wolf, our wolf guy, who's now been healed by Sienna secretly, because nobody knows that she went down and healed him and made him better. But they go down there. And at first, I thought that the king was going to say, you know, I already gone down and I've seen this guy and he's healed. Like, Sienna, what's going on? But really, he goes down with Sienna. And I think in his mind, his whole motive behind it was, the more I push this guy and the more I hurt him in front of her, she will, knowing her heart and how she is and how she likes to help people and heal, maybe she will tell me finally how she knows him. Because in his mind, he thinks that Sienna knows who our wolfman is, which we know she doesn't, but we do know that he has information that she wants. So they head down there, and the king basically looks at him, and you can see that he's at least doing better. And he's like, well, you survived the night, I see. But then he has his guards holding him. And he's like, what are you doing here? What do you want? And he basically beats the wolf man down. And not only does he beat him, but he makes Hunter do the beating on him. Which, if you did, you notice that Hunter kind of like hesitated? My first thought was, does Hunter know this guy? Are they maybe secretly working together? But I don't think that's really the case. But that was my first initial thought. Did seeing Hunter sort of hesitate, did that give you a little bit of like positive reservations about him? Or are you still like, no?
Well, going back to the whole thing, I think the king kind of knew that his daughter would go down there and save him. So I feel like he did this more to punish her and show him like he's not stupid. And it seems like he knows that Hunter was a part of the whole scheme of, what was it last night? The party? The party was last night, as you
Mm-hmm.
say, of him fake fainting and all this stuff. So I feel like the king knew that he was playing a part to help Sienna. So in his mind,
Mm-hmm.
because he even said, why I don't like this game I'm playing with you where I have to ask you twice to do something. So I feel like he did that more to
Yeah.
see where Hunter's loyalty is at and to punish Sienna because he did kind of take it a little too far. And I'm telling you, he's not stupid. I know he knows his daughter from the start went down there to heal him in the first place, hence why he brought her and a bunch of guards down there to basically show her and Hunter, like, I'm on to you guys.
Yeah. Well, because what better way to kind of punish his daughter by, let's going into the king's mind here. He's thinking that Sienna knows this wolf man. And what better way to punish Sienna than by making her watch this person get beat up by her betrothed, you know?
Yeah,
So
that sucks.
I guess it just kind of, I don't know. The way I interpreted it was definitely he was punishing her. But then we know for sure when they rip his shirt off, that's, again, I was saying the same thing last episode. I'm like, they're going to see that he's left with just a scar. And how does that heal overnight? The only thing that would make sense is that somebody healed him. And really, I think the king knows. He knows it was Sienna, but he has no proof that she went down there because nobody saw her go down there. But I'm not going to lie, my heart was like breaking for all of them, for the wolf man, for Sienna, and for Hunter. Because Hunter's like, you can see he's torn because he's trying to prove himself to Sienna. And I think he knows Sienna doesn't want him to do this. But really, what is he going to do? He's just as much of a prisoner to the king as Sienna.
Yeah. Yeah, being forced to do something he doesn't even want to do. Because he did say in the beginning he didn't want to be a part of the King's Guard anyways, but there's just something about this guy which I kind of clicked something together in my head for
Mm-hmm.
later. But
Well, and it also makes me wonder, do you think that one of his reasons for joining the King's Guard is he knew that somebody was going to probably have to marry Sienna, and he felt, and this is really, again, so far-fetched, this probably has nothing to do with it, but maybe he did it because he knew if somebody was going to end up with Sienna, he was going to want it to be him. Because imagine if it was somebody else, like one of his other guards who was just evil, and he's forced to marry Sienna, because we're seeing that she's getting a lot of freedom with Hunter. than she probably would have with anyone else. So in a way, it's like, I mean, she kind of lucked out by being engaged to Hunter, but I don't know, maybe that wasn't part of his plan, but it started to make me think, like, what if that had something to do with it too?
Okay. I felt like he was just forced into it. But yeah, that could be it too, why he was so willingly to go.
So
Like
that
the last
happens.
word that the king said to Sienna as they were walking out.
What was it again? I'm trying to remember.
He was like basically saying it's not him I don't trust, it's you I don't trust. Hence why I don't
Yes.
trust him. I was like, wow, bro. Bro. Like you could just flat out say, I don't freaking like you, and just you could have in my mind, I don't know. I got so many reserves right now because I feel like if he's already pregnant, like why is he keeping her around anyways? He already got another girl pregnant. You could have just left her at the front. Like, what was the point of bringing her back to punish her? I guess we could say. But that word, like, I got so mad at my book. Where's my book? My poor book. I squeezed the. I was like, no, he didn't.
That says a lot if you squeezed your butt because you yell at me for
I'm
hurting
so
my book on
mad.
accident.
'Cause I could just feel it. Like I have like such a hateful voice for him when he reads. He's just like, to me, he's like this strong person, but with just a hateful voice towards Sienna. And I'm just like, when I read it, it's like, I don't
Mhm.
trust you. I was like, well, jerk, I don't trust you either. So
Right? No, but yeah, I think one of the theories could be that maybe because this child that Hunter's cousin is pregnant with. So I'm going to assume that there's some type of like an age limit that you need to be king. Because I'm assuming you're not going to just allow a young kid to become king. So that maybe that's where Sienna comes into place. Like Sienna would probably have to be the next ruler. And let's say Sienna leaves and she's off somewhere else. They would probably pull her back and be like, technically, you are the rightful heir. Even if she has like a little brother, until he probably comes of age, I would assume that Sienna would be the next one. And I think that's why the king is like, I don't trust her. And he doesn't want her to be a part of it. And I think he's also maybe trying to see like how much does he trust her? And the little things that she's doing shows that he can't trust her. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, there's so many theories we can go into with it, but it does make me think like, what is his next step here? What does he want with Sienna? And what's going on with this other potential, you know, king or queen or whoever? Like, it just makes you think.
yeah, he's sneaky
Yeah.
snooker.
I did think it was funny though that Sienna goes into the kitchen because so after like we see the wolf man is beaten up. So basically Sienna healed him the night before. The king comes in, beats him to a pulp basically, and he is like back to pretty much where he started. In my opinion, probably worse. But Sienna's like, I need to get him some food. I need to do something. I think it was sweet that she put like a little like a
Oh, I thought that happened before the
bread.
beating.
It
Because she
did.
even
So she went,
stuck a piece of bread inside his shirt. She's like, I
yeah.
know he can't eat this, but still. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I just thought it was funny that she's like sitting there trying to sneak bread in the kitchen, and I'm like, "Girl, you're like you're the princess. You could just take." I don't know why you're like trying to sneak it.
It's for her romantic picnic, though. I like
True.
how, let me help you. Let me go get you a basket. Hold on. It's like, I would be like, don't take
Yeah.
that.
He tells her, "I want to talk with you," and she's completely like upset over the whole situation, but she agrees to meet him, and they go meet in the cemetery, which was an interesting choice to meet at because I was thinking if you want some alone time and privacy with your betrothed, why don't you just be like, come up to my chambers?
Because
No, I don't
no
think
one
they're gonna
goes
want
to the cemetery.
to. True, but I was like, if you really want alone time with no one to follow you, just be like, hey, you want to come upstairs? Like
No,
wink,
what
wink.
if you have
Like
like
I was.
um spies in her chambers? I don't know. The cemetery was the
Yeah, you
perfect
could.
spot, in my opinion.
But I will say that Sienna, as she's there, she's looking around and she's seeing all types of things like stuff dedicated. Like I think there was something dedicated for her mother there, and I think also for her grandmother. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
No, the
I
grandmother
did
wasn't a
think.
part of it, remember?
Well, yeah,
She
she
was saying
wasn't
she couldn't
buried
find
there,
anything.
right? But didn't she have like a statue or something that was kind of like dedicated to her, or no?
I thought that was her
Maybe.
mom. Because then when they were doing the
Yeah.
thing, it's like her mom was looking at her and then she's like, I totally forgot what my mission was.
Well, I thought it was a very interesting comment. Did you notice that Sienna said that no one was there with her when her grandmother died? And that kind of like brought up two different questions for me. Because one, I was like, why was she at the borderlands by herself with the enemy? Because we know from what the Wolfman told her is that the dead queen was there. And the story about her grandmother was that the corpse wolves were the ones who kind of, took out the grandmother. So it's like, one, why was she alone? Right? That would be something I would think about. And two, if nobody was there to see what happened, how do they know what actually happened to her?
What if she's not dead?
So this is where I'm going to bring in my theory because we're talking about it. Are you ready? Are you ready? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here's my theory. I think the grandmother is not really dead. I think because Sienna says that nobody, like, that's why she wasn't able to be buried because they didn't have anything to bring back of her. I almost think that either she went with the dead queen and it's all being covered up, or if she did actually die, the dead queen brought her back. And I think we're going to see the grandmother later down the road with the dead queen out out there. But I don't know. That's my theory. What are you thinking?
I have a lot going on, but I think the number one, which I know it's 100% wrong. So I know Miss Bear is watching or listening to us. So don't hang me for it. Um, I think something happened where Hunter kind of said something and got them in trouble. So I feel like the king set her out on a mission and then the guards were trying to kill her to like get rid of her or something. Hence why Sienna has such trust issues. And then like you said before, she probably did die. 'Cause one, I feel like she's friends with the dead queen only because our wolf man was saying that he had a lot of remorse. He was sad and he regrets it. So maybe he regrets it because the queen couldn't lose her and she did bring her back. So she is this corpse figure per se, but she doesn't want
Mhm.
anybody to know what she looks like because that would be kind of a crappy memory if you think about it. But yeah, that's which is why he has remorse because it's like, no, she's not dead, but you don't want to see what she looks like now type thing. Like she's not evil, she's not crazy like a
Mhm.
zombie type thing. She probably still is her. I could
Yeah.
be wrong.
I
I don't know.
No, I think you're right. I do. I mean, I think that something that Hunter did, she even says it broke my heart. And I think that Hunter did something that resulted in the grandmother's situation, right?
Mhm.
Like whatever happened to the grandmother. So I think that is one big reason why Sienna is having a really hard time coming back and trusting Hunter. Because, I mean, let's say Hunter hooked up with another girl. Him and Sienna, I don't know if they were ever actually technically in a relationship together, but we do know that they both had feelings for each other and they were friends. Let's say he did go out and hook up with somebody else. I can't imagine that being a complete um, evil betrayal to Sienna to where she feels the way she feels about him now, even all these years later. I'm not saying it's not a bad thing, like doing that doesn't hurt her feelings or hurt her, but I just feel like we're looking at something more. And I think it might have something to do with the grandmother. And it could be that he told his father something that Sienna told him, and that got back to the king, and then the king used that to do something with the grandmother. And so obviously Sienna has no way to forgive Hunter. I mean, again, all theories, but that is something that I think is a strong possibility.
Yeah, maybe it's a rebellion because the moss means something, especially to certain people too.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a
That could be
very,
a good theory.
I'm very curious. Yeah. See, I got so many
Yeah.
branches. It makes me
Everywhere.
joy.
Because we talked a little bit about, was the grandmother the king's mom, or was it the mom's mom? And we do find out that the grandmother is the mother's mom, because she says, I didn't really know my mom, but I know that she came from a very incredible woman, which we know to be the grandmother. So I thought that was interesting. And then we also got it confirmed that we were right with our suspicions a couple episodes back when we were talking about the pregnancy, because obviously now it is confirmed to Sienna that the baby that Hunter's cousin is pregnant with is the king's, because she asked Hunter, like, did you know about this? Like, and he knew exactly what she was talking about. He's like, Yeah, I mean, we kind of all, we all knew. And then he talks about his father, and, and that's where it goes back to your theory, right? Where you're like, I think that his father is trying to weasel his way into the kingdom. And I think you're onto that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, because even Hunter was saying, I don't know what my father does. He had it set up so perfectly where they can meet each other without anybody knowing. But he even said the entire kingdom knows exactly what's going on, but they're too scared to say anything. So what are they scared of? Is he not allowed to remarry? Is this like a realm we're in? You can only marry once. What are they scared of? That was a very interesting remark, what he said, you know? And in that case, then it brought me back. If they are scared to say something about it, and my theory is right, which is probably not, where he could only marry once, why is she wearing the royal colors? Like, you're still standing out, you know? Clearly they're
Yeah.
not married. So what makes you think that it's okay to wear the royal colors, you know?
Yeah, and
Or do
maybe
they
that's something
elope?
that's we don't know. And I think even Hunter doesn't know. Hunter even says like one day she started wearing the royal colors, and it was like one thing that led to another, and then we have all these pieces that are falling into place, and it could be there's something more going on, because Sienna even says she was this quiet, like almost bashful girl. So what is the connection here? Like, this doesn't make sense, and I think we're going to find out eventually what happened. But I do think that it had to do with, I mean, because Hunter, I don't believe, has any sisters, not that we know of. I think that if Hunter has a sister, his father would have gone, hey, get my other daughter pregnant. So I'm
Yeah, but then
assuming
he
that
couldn't
maybe this.
marry Sienna. That would have been he no.
Yeah, I guess you're right, huh? Because that would have been. Oh yeah, that would have been weird. The kid would have been like, "Oh, that's my cousin, and I'm the uncle." Yeah, no, but yeah, it could, it could be that, I don't know. We don't know what's going on. But it could also be that, yeah, this cousin is the closest female to Hunter's family and his father, so it just was the perfect choice for her to carry the heir, or possible heir, to for of the king. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see what we're going to find, if we're going to find more out about that, and moving forward, how that ties together. Because I feel like it ties together one way or another.
Yeah, it is pretty
We
weird.
just need to unwrap it. We need to unwrap
And is she one of
it.
the people that now needs to be saved from him, or is she like grown to be into stuff like that? That's
Yeah,
kind of scary to think about, if you
right.
ask me.
I don't know. But we
It's
do
weird.
see Hunter. Yeah, it is. We do see Hunter and Sienna having this moment together. And I think this is the first time that we're seeing Sienna kind of fall into her feelings. Like, everything starts rushing back. She starts remembering how she felt about Hunter, because they're kissing, and they're kissing passionately. And I could totally picture this in my head. I can see it starting off as like a little kiss, and then next thing you know, it's like deeper, and their hands are grabbing each other, and then she's pushed against the wall and her legs up, and then they're doing it. And no, I'm just kidding. But like, I can see it going in this direction of like, she is forgetting her like where she stands as far as emotions go. And I think we are seeing this tug from her, where she clearly does care about him and want to be with him, but I think she knows that by being with him, it might be disrespecting her grandmother, if we're going with the theory that he had something to do with what happened to her grandmother. I think with Hunter, I am gonna say I do think it goes back to, it's like too little too late. But I know you don't like the guy. I'm rooting for them though for right now. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
But I
I
felt
don't
it
care
for
for
her. I
him.
was like, oh, I was like, and he's like, he's trying so hard. He's like, I will do anything. He doesn't, when she pulls away, which I thought it was very interesting, because she gets the reminder by looking at the mother's statue, and she's like, now I remember why I was upset with him in the first place. So she like pulls away. But I was like, he doesn't push it. He doesn't force it on her. He's like, I get it. Like, I will do anything I can to win your trust back. And it's just like, it's hard not to root for them. I'm like, come on.
Oh, brother. It is. It is hard to root for them. No. But then as we move a little bit forward, because after that scene, they the next day they end up in the garden, and he's trying to be even more romantic with her and read her like poetry and all this stuff and be super cutesy, just like everybody likes, which everybody does like. But it's just another suspicion, as you're trying to be rooting over, blah, 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 as you're trying to root for this guy. How did you not get kind of, I wouldn't say upset, but kind of is weary the word for it, when he pulls out a necklace for the real thing and it's a moth necklace that belonged to the grandmother? Like, didn't that bug you at all? Are you still rooting for the guy, or do you think that that was like the sweetest thing? Am I just taking it out of like the wrong way because I just don't like him, or what? Help me understand what you see in this guy.
So I think I kind of see where you're going with it. Like, are you almost saying like, why would he have this necklace?
I feel like he took it from her. I know he said he bought it from somebody, but I feel like he took it from her and he had it fixed to say that he bought it from somebody. Like, that's where
So
my mind went.
I would agree with you, except the only thing that makes me not think that that's a possibility is that when they went to this city, right? We know it was
To
probably not
have
the
it
greatest
fixed.
area.
With my quotes, it's
Well,
fixed.
yes, but when they were there, she obviously this shop has some type of significance to the moths, and you could see in the guy's face that he was instantly like, I know that necklace, but I'm not talking because of whatever reason behind it. And then the fact that there was a moth imprinted like off to the side makes me believe that that necklace was there or originally started there and then went to the grandmother. So I'm not saying that you're not right, but I feel like in a way I can see where like Hunter could have gotten the necklace from there. But what I'm more curious about is how did the necklace go from the grandmother to this shop?
But what if she
I don't know.
did buy it? Because what if, okay, so let's say, what if they are a rebellion? And he made like
Mm-hmm.
the moth is like a resemble of the rebellion. He's like the maker of all makers. Like, what is it called? Blacksmith.
Mm-hmm.
And and because everything has it. The cemetery has it. The dagger has it. The necklace has it. The shop has it. So to me, that's just a symbol of something. And what if Hunter was there? I'm not saying he's probably told Sienna, but what if Hunter was there when the stuff went down with the grandmother? Hence, that's how he had it, has it. So when he takes it back to the guy, he's probably like thinking, what the heck happened? Why do you have it? Type thing. Which now, if it is a rebellion, he probably knows Hunter is part of the guard. And he's like, I'm not getting in trouble for this shit. You know? Shoot, shoot. I don't know. It makes so much more sense in my head when I try to get it out. I feel like I need to take more time to put it out so we could talk about it, I guess, next episode.
Okay, so what about this? The moth. Let's go with your rebellion theory, right? Because I do like this. I do like this. I like this a lot. The moth, if you think about it, a moth goes towards the light, right? Like a moth is all about the light. And Sienna has the powers of the light. This kingdom has the light. So maybe this does have some type of a rebellion because the moth is supposed to signify what the people in the kingdom who contain this light power originally started. And the king is now off to the, that's it. Book done. Bye. We're good. Have a good day, guys. See you next time. Like, that's
So,
what I
book
said.
two. Where's book two
No,
already?
no, okay, because this kind of goes back into the stories. You remember the story she was reading at the beginning of this chapter about it was like the Fae people were sort of coming together with like the kings and queens of the human people, and then they would come together, and I'm assuming they would have children, and those children
And the
would
north became
started to
more
have,
dark.
yeah, like the children started having light powers and the shadow powers, and that's how these powers were sort of created. Because I did wonder that. I was wondering, is Sienna like Fae, or like how are these powers something that these I'm assuming they're humans got, and it makes sense that their ancestors had bred with Fae people. So now you have these people who, because the Fae is like, bye, you guys are getting crazy, we're out of here, and they went back north. And then the light people and the shadow people started butting heads and not agreeing. So the light people like kind of threw them off and made them go all the way north where the Fae is. So I don't know, it starts to make me wonder, like, obviously we have this city that's light and that's what it all represents, but the moth, I feel like it has something to do with light. I do feel like it could be a rebellion and it could be representing of what the people who possess light powers originally started and wanted. And now the
Hunter
king's gone
possesses
AWOL.
those
I don't know.
powers too. Not as
I think the king
powerful
and the
as
king.
Sienna's. Oh yeah, but he doesn't use it at all. But it's just weird
Right.
because I thought it was only the royal, so Hunter's not as powerful as Sienna. So maybe he is in the mix of something. But yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
maybe they're just trying to get everybody back together instead of being so separated. Maybe, but yeah,
It could
even she
be.
said we are not these types of people because we're supposed to be better than the dead queen side because she is the one who kills for sport and does all this stuff while the other side, the south side, is supposed to be light and healing. So when she saw her dad go AWOL or crazy
Mhm.
on the wolf, she was saying this isn't who we are. So how long has
Right.
he been in rain? I want to know. Did I skip that part? Did I miss it?
I don't know. I have to go back and check. But I mean, I'm assuming it's been a while because what, Sienna's how old? 20, 23, 21? Well, Sienna's
24.
older. So we know, yeah, so we know that it had to be at least as long as that. And I would assume before. So it wouldn't be too far fetched. And again, like going back, like she mentions her grandfather and her great grandfather, they all were kind of fighting on the lines with the people. They were, even if they weren't like in the battlefront, they were fighting the battle from like maybe a higher up position. And we see her father isn't really doing that. He's kind of more in the shadows and pushing the people out. And he seems like he's just more in the back, like, I'm strong and I'm here, but I'm not doing anything to help you guys. So it's almost like when he became king, he sort of drifted them off into like a different pathway that Sienna and probably the grandmother all didn't agree with. And so, like, again, it could be that the moth is symbolizing we're going in the direction of the light. We're going in the way we should. I don't know how to explain it. I can see it in my mind. I feel like I'm you now. I can see it in my mind, but I can't get the words out. So I'm hoping
Hold
this
on. We
makes
need a pause
sense.
to write this out. Like that's in
Like,
our
help
head.
me.
No,
I
I
know,
get
that's what
it.
I'm saying. So I don't know. I think out of all of this, the takeaway is that I do think that the king is sort of pulling them in more of an evil direction. And I don't think that the dead queen and her people, I could be wrong, I don't think that they're as evil as the king wants people to believe. But then again, her grandfather was fighting them, her great grandfather was fighting them. So I don't know. I wish I could.
But were they fighting them, or is that just the stories they were told? Because what if it's really supposed to be the
Right.
Moth Kingdom, and then this king came along and changed it to the Fox Kingdom?
Yeah, it
But
could
we
be.
never know, because even like the history for her could be totally different. Because there's really, I mean, the grandmother, never mind, that cancels out. The grandmother probably did it. But then looking at Hunter's powers, what if the grandmother did have like a healing power, just not as strong as Sienna, hence why she was always on the front line too, you know?
Yeah. Well, because
Mm.
Hunter can heal. He just can't heal as much as Sienna. Because I did forget to mention that earlier. We do know that Hunter has some type of healing powers, but he can only do like minor scrapes and bruises, unlike Sienna, who can really heal. Um, I don't know. There's so many theories. Briar, what's the answer?
Can
We
you
need
just
to
shoot us a
know.
text, please? You know what we should do? We should ask her to be on one of these podcasts and see if she'll just hint to us. Be like, okay, girls, you're going in the
Ooh.
wrong direction. Oh, please don't tell me that. Let me go with my branches.
Well, you and I do have a tendency of following like breadcrumbs that are leading to nowhere. So
Yeah.
it would it wouldn't be too far fetched to think that that's
But
what we're doing
I
now.
don't
But
know.
I
I
will
feel like
say we
after
are right
finding,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah, finding the truth out sometimes is more exciting though when you're like, oh, I was totally wrong on that one.
I know. Yeah. No, but those were fun chapters. I did like that. I do feel like we got a lot. I think we learned a lot. I'm excited to read forward and find out more information. Amanda is not Team Hunter. I don't. And here's the other thing, you guys. I want you to know I might be rooting for Hunter and Sienna because I think they're cute, but I am rooting for Wolfman to come out and just get crazy, like be the shadow daddy of the story. Like I am ready for Wolfman. Well, one, I'm ready to learn his name, but two, I'm ready for Wolfman to become Wolf Daddy. So I guess we're gonna see. But for now, read the next 3 chapters, and we will discuss those on the next episode. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we end this episode?
No, but we love you guys.
We do. So pretty simple. I think you guys have heard me do this every time. If you're following us on Spotify or Apple, make sure you subscribe. Make sure to leave us a comment. Make sure to share this with a friend. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, comment. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up because all of that really helps the algorithm. We're really enjoying all the amount of people who are listening. It's pretty overwhelming. I know Amanda and I have talked about it, right? Like, it's exciting having all you guys listen in with us. We love it. We really like it. So yeah, make sure you guys do that. And yeah, other than that, make sure you guys are following us on social media. We are on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Also, make sure you guys are following Briar Knightley. She is on TikTok and Instagram as well. She is the author of this fantastic book that we are reading together. You guys need to go check her out and check out all the fun things she has to show you about her books. And other than that, I guess we will see you guys on the next episode. Happy reading. Bye.
Bye.